excellent news, guys. We got another rescue attempt lined up. That's from the same guy. I think the same combine. And roughly in the same place as well. But it's not apparently as bad as it was last time. Let's go have some fun. There's no cops around, then I would be bent over and sent to the Coolant, that's for sure. Feels like I would need an escort for this trip. Luckily the trip is not that long. Maybe like a couple of minutes.
Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 1
tere! Yeah, maybe we should actually try to figure out where that leak is coming from. It's kind of getting big now. Somewhere under the dash. It's basically the same situation like I had up there. I had to like undo a lot of things in order to fix the stupid leak. But you know, the guy said, oh look, there he is. He's gonna come and show me where the stuck thing is. Take a little different route home. It's a bit shorter because I came out so much to this way. Everything failed at the same time. What the hell? Freaking coolant hose. Oh, good. But I thought it's gonna flip over or something.
Ma kogu aeg reguleerisin, et hoia, ei näe ka neid rattad, oleks siia poole vaja hoida. Ja näed, hoja pealt. Õnneks liiklus edasi.
Mul läks voolik puru.
Sul läks voolik?
Väike vooliku jupp, noh.
Toru ots ära.
Ei, seal on see kummivoolik vahel.
Kummivoolik, jah.
Täitsa uskumatu, et...
Uskumatu ta välja, kui siit läks jälg.
Ja.
Ta on vajuma,
oleks ta sügavale läinud, siis pikali läinud.
Muud oleks hoidnud. Aga tood ka.
Peaasi elu ja terve oled. See on kõige tähtsam.
Kallis masin, 3 miljonit läheb peale. Ta toob saage 2 tundi.
Natukene räsis seda...
No tooid.
That dude got really lucky. That was extremely lucky, actually. Very close to being flipped over. Because look where the wheel was. Basically, the wheel was here. But half a meter more, that's another 1 meter drop. Would have flipped over, no doubt. Really lucky, dude. I'm gonna go try to fix the stupid hose. Then I can get home as well. Too big. Home sweet home. Not my lucky day, I guess. Yeah, Steve told me change all the hoses, and I'm like, I'm gonna change them when they fail. Don't do that, guys. Don't be me. That's stupid. Guess I'm gonna lose the last of my coolant. Luckily I have a box. What do you think, guys? Some JB weld there, a little bit of paint, yeah, paint, not tape. Good to go. See guys, I did not spill anything. That's the water. It rained like 5 minutes ago. Didn't you notice? You know what guys, we should probably change out some of the other hoses as well. For once we should listen to Steve. I mean, look at that thing, that's about to explode. Same on that side, that one as well. I think everything else should be kind of okay. Maybe there's something at the bottom, but these three definitely. And when I got the tractor, I did change a bunch of them out, but some of them still remained. And you know, this is payback basically right now. What I have to do. Completely unnecessary work. Now I basically lost like 40 liters of coolant. Like $100 into the ground. Now some people are gonna say that just use water in it, no big deal. Well yeah, it will work on water as well, but you know, coolant has that property, that lubrication property, something that water doesn't have. That's why I prefer coolant. Kurat, küll ikka maha. Kuidas ta putsi, kus ta üle ajab? Kuradi pang see on, ma ei saa aru. Nojah, seal otsas on see kuradi auk, ma ei saagi valada siit. Pide kast raisk. The funnel has a mesh on it, so the crap does not go inside. Don't worry guys. Man, I need way more. Where am I gonna get water? Oh. Blue, white, yellow. Dude, who's gonna even notice the difference? Sorry guys, I couldn't produce enough B, so I need to go get some water from somewhere. And luckily, if I recall, the guy almost drove into like a little stream. And we got some water down there. If this guy went there, it would be dead. It would roll over and I would die. Literally. This tin can will not save your life. No sir. we made it home. How is that possible? I was pretty sure the tractor is gonna break in half somewhere. Leaking from everywhere. Up top. Also, I saw something was leaking down there again. Right over there. I have no idea what that is. Where is that coming from? What? Okay, that's confusing. Oh, I think I know what's going on. Maybe I put too much water in the thing and it overflew the expansion tank. Nope, that's not the case. Dude, look at the expansion tank. That thing is about to explode. What the hell? It's literally about to explode. Holy hell. I'm gonna undo the zip tie at the bottom. No, it's leaking from here. But I'm guessing that's because of some overpressure situation. I'm gonna let that drain out. Not sure what's going on with the expansion tank now. The thing is visibly warped. Pretty sure the gap should actually open up because there's a spring there. Maybe that's stuck. Yeah, I think I put too much water in the thing, A, and B, it was not able to vent itself out due to water expanding, you know, once you heat it up. And then the expansion tank almost exploded. Plus it started leaking out from all sorts of spots. Oh, now it's leaking. What? Yeah, that's weird. Haven't had that issue before. That's new. Expansion tanks exploding is not a good thing, usually. You know, we should do like a recap. Number A, we got called over to a harvester rescue mission. Number B, that went successfully. C, we started heading home. I mean, that went pretty good up to some stuff. D, number 4, the combine almost turned over. Luckily it did not happen. Number 5, the combine got out. Oh, 4.5 as well. The coolant line exploded, but we managed to fix that. However, once we got home, the expansion tank almost exploded. And you know, that kind of sums it up basically. I don't get it why the thing jammed, because clearly the spring works. And once that thing locks down, pressure pushes the thing up and it should start leaking from here. And I've had leaks from here if I put too much coolant in the thing. But right now nothing leaked from there, and pressure just kind of kept building until it found like the weakest point, which was apparently that thing there. Then again, it's good that we have weak points, right? If we don't, then the pressure will just keep building until something explodes. But it visibly bent the expansion tank. It has expanded now. I guess it's living up to its name. All things considered though, I'm pretty sure expansion tanks are not supposed to expand themselves, right? Now, I'm not sure what to do about this situation, honestly. I think I'm gonna patch up all the leaks that we need to patch up. Then we're gonna go buy some coolant, do another test, let it run hour, half an hour, whatever. If it's good, it's good. If not, then we need to, I think, maybe change out this thing. but I don't think it's the problem because that clearly works pretty good. Maybe it doesn't spring enough. So maybe it doesn't spring enough. Yeah, maybe I can get a replacement. Let's fix the pipes first. That should take care of that bit. Wonder what is that for? What is that line over there? I guess it's for nothing. By the way, this hose is supposed to go to the cab heater, which I don't have currently on this tractor. Another water line, but it has like a broken strap on it. Yeah, I'm gonna look around. Maybe I can find more sketchy hostings. Okay, so I took a quick look downstairs and everything pretty much seems kinda okay down here, except that I guess has a bunch of cracks in it. This is the main coolant line coming from the radiator going to the pump. This one also seems kind of funky, so I'm gonna try to swap that one out as well. Then I found a couple of oil lines here which seem very funky. One is right over there, should probably swap that out. And then we have I mean, that's gonna break almost immediately, so might as well. But other than those, I didn't really find any extremely sketchy looking hoses around. I think let's try to start off with the oil ones first.
Seekord ei ole nii äkki vaja tõmmata, rahulikult ta tuleb välja.
Ja.
Ise ka ta kraabib.
Okay. Guys, we have to postpone the hose replacement mission for a bit. Guy's stuck again. This time it's his tractor, not the combine, and basically the same spot or somewhere close there. I'm gonna try to go back, pull the guy out, and then come back here. But I have to keep an eye on the expansion tank because you know, actually I just got back from the down and bought some coolant for the thing. This time I bought a bit more quality product, I would say. And actually I wanted to buy the same stuff, but I had a little discussion with the guy who sells coolant, and he basically told me the stuff I had is like very low quality base type of coolant, and this stuff is much better. It was a bit more expensive as well, but yeah, I got a pretty decent deal. I paid $1.86 per liter for this stuff. Hopefully that final cracked hose that we have downstairs is gonna hold. You know what's weird? The Mr. Giros over here has gotten more work hours in the last couple of weeks than Bobcat has. What the hell? Dude, I got a major oil leak all of a sudden coming from there. I think it's hydraulic fluid. We'll know in a second. See what the engine oil is doing. No idea why it happened all of a sudden though. I'm pretty sure it's hydraulic fluid. Well, we got plenty of the stuff.
Hüdro oli muidu mulle
Kurat, mul siin ikkagi on kuskil nii siin praegust.
No siis äkki saab ära tõmmata ja ma panen sulle juurde ja siis saab kodu ka.
Ma ei tea see. Oli hüdro oli on
ju. Siis on putsi.
Ta oli külm ikkagi. Ta oleks juba soe.
Tõmba see välja. Tõmba see välja. Kui kuum ei ole, siis ta peaks leid.
The guys right over there. I'm gonna go get them unstuck. Get back home as fast as possible. Te kuskil all ei ole, jah?
Ei ole. Pane käi.
Ah?
Ei, siin. Pane käi, mene.
Nothing over there. Still flowing out pretty good. It's still cold. Engine oil is warm, so it's definitely not engine oil, but maybe it's actually gearbox oil, because gearbox oil also goes through this compartment. Maybe it's that. Basically, I'm gonna drive home and then we'll check the gearbox oil as well. I'm having the worst luck right now.
No mis nüüd saab? Õli on sul vaja või? Mis sul seal ära on, seda ei tea keegi. Seal on su SK tiend, otsa tiend on ära, ma arvan. Sa pead tünni alla. Aga tuleb ikka kõvasti.
Ei, nüüd on maad.
Sa pead...
Sõidu ajal ta ajab rohkem.
Siin on su 6 hekk pandud.
6 istikud on üles.
Ööse ka töötab.
Ööse ka töötan ja ööse magan.
Ööse ka töötab. See on keegi lömmi sõitnud või?
Kuule, ma ei tea, aga mul on uued tiivad ära ostetud juba.
Tahad täitsa korda teha?
Ikka, jah.
Siis paned juuptuupi üles.
Toota, ma tegin seal putitasin.
Too oli hea märk.
Nüüd on surnud seal.
Too töötab hästi või?
Tool on sidur kinni.
Sidur kinni?
Peasidur on kinni, ma ei tea, mädanenud või kiilunud või midagi.
Nüüd ei liigu üldse või?
Ei, no käima saada, aga...
Edasile?
Ei, noh. Kui siduri pedaali vajutad, siis midagi ei toimu. Masin valub ikka edasi. Okay guys, let's do a bit of brainstorming. I think it's pretty obvious what happened, but let's do some brainstorming. Now, about the coolant situation, nothing happened up top, no overpressures, no nothing. So I don't know what to make about that, but let's talk about this a bit. So basically, it's not engine oil. That's 100% guaranteed at the moment, because the engine oil level perfectly where it's always been. It's not that. So 2 more choices left, either hydraulic fluid or gearbox oil. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's hydraulic fluid at this point, but you know, we'll check the gearbox oil a bit later. Then we can completely confirm it. So it smells like hydraulic fluid. So what do you think what happened? I have a pretty good theory. So the pump housing has 2 pumps mounted on it. One is right over there and the other one is right over there. Yeah, a bit better view from here. So I think the shaft seal, either on one or both of them, blew out. That seems like a perfect explanation what's going on at the moment. Now on these pumps there are 2 shaft seals on both of them, and I think, if I remember correctly, they were locked down with a C-clip or some washer thing. And maybe that failed, and then the seal blew out from the pressure, and then it was just kind of pumping hydraulic fluid into the bell housing, and thus from there it can easily leak out as it just was. I mean, that's my strongest theory of what's going on at the moment. The shaft seal failed on either one or both the pumps. Why? No idea. I would say karma, but I haven't done anything wrong. I mean, I'm a good citizen, right? Why does this shit keep happening to me? It's not fair. Bad things don't happen to good people. This is not fair. Stupid rain as well. Piss off! Piss off! Still leaking really badly. Or maybe that's water. Yeah, probably that. From the rain, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna wait maybe like 10 minutes. If it's still leaking, I think I need to drain the hydraulic reservoir, or that thing is just gonna empty. Now the farmer dude, he told me he can bring me like old, used John Deere fluids. And I agreed, he's gonna come by tomorrow, bring a barrel or something. Personally, I think that's like 10 times better compared to the gunk that's inside at the moment. Now this is demotivating, honestly, because it's a lot of work to access those pumps. I need to undo a lot of things up front. You can't just willy-dilly go in there, pick up the pump and leave. It's not that easy. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the road. I'm gonna take some sawdust with me. You know, try to cover up my environmental disaster what I made there with oil leak. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna finish what I was planning to do during the course of this video, and once I do that, then we can assess the situation and plan further ahead. So let's go back to the gear. Let's change those hoses and also check the gearbox oil. I think I also want to change it, but we'll see how things go. No se enää. Uja verran. I mean, that looks pretty bad, but the other one wasn't. I would say this is okay. Kind of looks old and whatnot, but this is not about to fail anytime soon. You know, jumping around in random fields is really messing up my frame. All the Titanic parts are breaking off. Look at that. Dude, I think I need to replace the front part of the frame, honestly. Luckily it's not that big of a chunk. Like cut it off from there, basically. This is pretty messed up. I'm gonna try to swap that out, although that's like a minor glitch. That's a bit odd size, honestly. This is 50 millimeters and that's 55 millimeters. Now I tried to get 55 millimeter hose, but they don't have one, surprisingly. Basically I have like 52 and I also have 63. So maybe we were able to clamp it down with 63 if the 52 won't fit. Now I'm gonna take the other part as well off, then I can take the whole thing off. Now I got a strange feeling there is some oily residue inside the cooling system. This is very good. Keeps the cooling system lubricated up nicely. Oh, maybe I heated up too much. What are you just staring there, man? Help me blow. Good job. You guys are very good at blowing. Perse sama tega. No, hopefully that's a bit better. Looks more yellower. But anyway guys, regarding the leak situation, it looks like it has slowed down considerably, although something is still coming out of the hole. Now I'm gonna leave the catch pan under the thing overnight. I'm gonna see if it continues to leak or it will stop at some point. So I'll be right back. Yeah, I know guys, I know. It looks about the same, but trust me, it's the next day now. Let's go see what's going on. Basically nothing. You know, this is not actually that good, because it doesn't really support the blown out pump seal theory that I had. You know, because if we had a blown shaft seal on the pump, then it would leak out even if the thing was not running. I mean, there's oil in the lines and the pump all the time, and if the shaft seal was busted, then it would just constantly leak out until the reservoir would be empty. So this, because it stopped leaking, this doesn't really support that theory, honestly. Maybe it is the gearbox oil. I can't rule it out at the moment. No, that's the drain for the gearbox oil. Maybe that's clogged, you know. Maybe it's filled with crap and it can't drain back to the gearbox. So gearbox keeps pumping in oil into this compartment in order to lubricate 2 or 3 bearings in there, plus a bunch of gears. And it has to exit through this pipe back to the gearbox, but maybe that's clogged. And perhaps that's why it started leaking out from here, and it's not anymore because currently the engine is not running, so the gearbox pump is also not working, so it's not pumping any fluids into that compartment at the moment, and thus why it stopped leaking. I mean, that's a bit more solid theory than the pump failure at this point. Now, I figured if it was still leaking right now in the morning, then it's 100% guaranteed a pump failure. But you know, because it's not leaking at the moment, then I'm kinda pointing towards the gearbox. And we seem to have some type of a leak there as well. I'm not sure what that is. I'm quickly gonna check that. Guys, wanna know something funny actually? I didn't plan to really make this video like a gearbox repair video, or I just wanted to do like a quick rescue attempt, maybe if all went successfully, just add the scenes into the odd ends episodes. Just a quick video, you know, but then the radiator leak happened and I figured, okay, I'm gonna make this video its own thing by trying to fix up these minor leaks all around. And then something exploded and the thing spilled its guts on the road somewhere. So I went from basically nothing to something else. So I have no idea where this video is gonna go, but I guess we'll see. Let's take one thing at a time. That's quite a bit of oil as well. Where the hell is that coming from? Can't see anything at the moment. And a good thing some random clown decided to install a sawmill nearby. Mr. Bird agrees. I can't see any leaks at the moment, but wild guess. On the rear end we have a hydraulic leak, and on the front end we have a gearbox leak. So let's check the gearbox oil, see if that's up in norm. Now, in order to check the gearbox fluid level on this machine, you need a 17mm wrench with a socket, and there are two check blocks. They're relatively close to each other, but they're very tiny and easy to miss. But basically, it's just behind the cylinder on the left side. That one is for the lower, I mean the colder checkup, and the upper one is for checking the fluids like 5 minutes after you shut down the engine. Now, if we don't have anything coming out of this hole, then that kind of supports the gearbox theory. But I think we do. Kind of dark though. It wasn't this dark last time. Last time it was golden colored, so something's up. That's very watery as well. It's clearly overfilled with something. I think hydraulic fluid. Most probably, yeah. Okay, so pump leaking into the housing. We got that drain under the pump, I mean the housing. So if pump leaks into the housing, then that oil will also get drained into the gearbox. And that's why we have that weird color in the gearbox right now. Plus it's overfilled so much because hydraulic fluid has entered the gearbox at this point through the drain, and there's a lot of it. That kind of makes sense, right? I think let's drain the gearbox oil. Clearly that's messed up. And we're back at the pump leaking theory, basically. Kuskilt lekib, vaata. Kuskilt sealt tuleb. Kas ta on siis pulli mingi tihend või? Something's leaking from here, but I'm not sure where exactly. It might just come from upstairs somewhere. I should try to trace that actually before I open anything up. Don't tell me it's coming from here. There seems to be like a missing bolt. Yeah, there seems to be like a missing bolt there. It's coming from over there. That's interesting. What is that, like M10? Maybe we can plug that up. You know what? I think that's not the hole. I mean, there's either something broken in there, or that hole is for separating the parts. I think it's the second option, because I can see some threads in the thing. So that means this silicone piece of crap gasket is failing. Now taking that part off is probably a lot of work, so I'm just gonna try to seal it up. Hopefully that will keep the minor leak in bay, but obviously that silicone garbage is starting to fail. Now about the oil quantity. The book says about 23 liters. So we'll see how much will come out of it. Plus keep in mind, I've never changed the gearbox oil on this tractor. Now I know guys, I'm lame, but I have a pretty good reason for that. Now when I got the tractor, I checked it. It was golden colored, so I didn't bother to. Plus, the gearbox oil filter was super clean, nothing bad inside that one. Now we'll recheck that as well later. But right now, currently, the oil is obviously not golden colored anymore. Looks more like engine oil at this point. Definitely more than 23, no doubt there. A lot more than 23, wow. It's going down now. Something's broken definitely. Got a metal chip over there. But nothing crazy, honestly. Now I'm definitely gonna take the band off as well. I wanna look inside. Plus, if the pump is still leaking, that means oil will still flow into this compartment. So we can confirm that as well in the meantime. Okay, so I would say that's about 23 liters. So that means all of this was extra inside the gearbox. And this is... I would say roughly 40 liters more than what's needed. I mean, obviously it's coming from the hydraulic reservoir, so we're definitely back at the pump seal failure theory. That's where all my money goes, by the way. At least most of it. Kurat, mana tämä? Hopefully it's not too heavy. Maybe something's holding on to it. Okay, I can see a bunch of gears. A pickup tube. There's some rust on the gears, which means water. And there's a lot of stuff down here. Okay, so there's the lead. That's the front end. Visibly I can't see anything that's like blocking the view. Now we're looking down on the hole. We can see that mesh over there. Oh man, stupid oil. Can't really tell from the camera. Okay guys, so I had a little discussion with the Soviet Bible, and it told me that basically you're only supposed to, well, in order to access the bump mesh, you're supposed to remove those 4 bolts and take that plate off as well. It doesn't say anything about this part, and inside the book this part kind of looks different, and maybe this is like rebuilt or something like that. Well, at least someone's having fun. Freaking spy nuts. Book didn't say anything about this one. Yeah, putting that back is gonna be very fun. Most definitely. You know, opening the thing up was kind of pointless, I think. I mean, the mesh looks pretty clean. There's nothing there. Well, we can make it cleaner, but... Yeah. Other than that, I don't see anything like out of the ordinary. It looks pretty okay. Plenty of material left on the gears. I mean, these look a lot better than what we had inside the Belarus tractor. I'm guessing this is what powers the pump. And this is the drain line from the pump housing, and it looks like fluid is coming from it still. Yeah, luckily this is coming off pretty easily. I guess that's why I was unable to get the bottom pan out, because these two plates are actually connected with that pipe. Always read the book, guys. Although if it's a Soviet book, then about 50% of the information is incorrect. But still, even if 50% of the information is useless, the other 50% will give you some idea where to go next. Although the destination is usually the same. The vodka store. That's where all the Soviet books will lead. Now if you're wondering about the heating thing, then it's just to make the paint dry faster. I don't have an entire day to wait for the paint to dry. No sir. Stop glitching. You know what guys, I think I just had a realization. In about 10 years from now, the entire Kirvas tractor will be repainted nicely. But it's still gonna be broken. I think that's my future. Looks nice though. Ain't nobody got time to watch paint dry. Nobody. Dry, you bastard. Missed a spot. This is probably gonna take a bit of time to cool down. So let's go check out the gearbox oil filter in the meantime. I personally think the filter is clean, but yeah, let's quickly check it. That's relatively clean. A little bit of junk here and there, but nothing major. Let the good times roll. Dude, this stuff is so much better than silicone. For starters, it smells so good. And yeah, that's about it. Nothing else matters. Okay. And while I'm here, might as well put some Looby-Doo there. Mis sellega juhtub? Mis sellega juhtub? Tööta enam. Man, that thing is seized. What happened? Oh. Okay, I guess this is basically scrap now. The handle is completely seized. It doesn't move at all. No idea what happened. Last time it worked fine. Maybe I dropped it somewhere. Like that. Yeah, let's go see if the yellow cupcake is ready now. Whoops. You know, this part is pretty worn, but I think we can still keep using it for the time being. Now comes the fun part. So I'm gonna try to bench press this guy up. Maybe we'll be able to do it. I mean, it doesn't weigh that much. It's about 25 kilos maybe. Just gotta get that shaft to match. No, mis nüüd läks või? Midagi vist läks kuhugi. Ei läinud. So much for my kick-ass paint job. Thing's a total mess. Sadly, we didn't really get much smarter. At least we confirmed that the intake mesh or intake tube for the gearbox pump is clear. So at least that. Guys, both the check plug plus the fill plug, they're ridiculously small considering how huge the gearbox is. I mean, fill plug is right there in the corner. It's basically like a like 10mm hole or something like that. That tiny little dirt. Yeah, it would make sense a lot more to just open up the filter and pour it through that. But I think that's a bit more work. That cannot be the fill hole. Freaking hell. This is clearly a breather gap. But the stupid book says on the rear end, left side, is the fill hole. This is the rear end, left side. I mean, we have nothing on the other side. No gap whatsoever. I just don't freaking get it. Now, if you put oil down that hole, it will end up in the gearbox. That's for sure, but it will just take forever. You know, something that's really, really weird is that this hose over here, it basically goes, it loops around, and it goes to this section. You know, loops around, goes right there into the distributor, but only one hose is connected. So technically, if you don't like move the lever, no oil will go through this hose into that gearbox. So I have no idea. This just kind of makes no sense. Maybe you guys have some ideas what this might be. Why is it connected? Why is it connected to the distributor? It makes no sense. I don't get it. The oil will only flow there if you do that. If not, then the hose is empty. Yeah, out of curiosity, I'm gonna open this guy up. Who knows, maybe we can pour the oil in through this port instead. No. This is weird. Why would you want to pump hydraulic fluid into this compartment from the distributor? What? Dude, that makes no sense. Yeah, I thought there would be some type of a tube inside the hole, and then that tube would go somewhere, but basically this is inside the gearbox, I think. Yeah. I think I can use this hole to fill the gearbox. I'm gonna go try to go as straight down as possible. Maybe I can hit the bottom. Bingo, guys. Look at that. I'm at the oil pan now. That's the hose which goes to the pump thing. This is the bottom. So basically this hole, I can use it to fill the gearbox. No problem. Good to know. But guys, why is that hose connected up there? Why? I don't understand. Basically, if you connect that up and then push this lever down, it will pump hydraulic fluid from the hydraulic tank into the gearbox. Basically, it's set up like that at the moment. There's no return, but it will one way. It will work one way. That makes no sense to me. I don't understand that. Why is that a thing? Dude, maybe you guys have some ideas. I just can't figure it out at the moment. Maybe there's a pretty easy explanation for this, but I just don't understand. Sorry. But anyway, guys, thanks to the Weber anal probe, we were able to confirm at least that I can pour gearbox oil down the hole. This has turned out to be a very useful little gadget. Holy hell, guys. I went to pee and I had an epiphany. I mean, a new theory. Dude, it's actually pretty solid. I think it might be the thing why we had that oil leak downstairs. So it has everything to do with the same stupid oil line which we just undid. Now that oil line, like I said, is connected up to that section of the distributor housing. So basically, if I leave that lever there, start the engine, it's just gonna immediately start pumping fluids from the hydraulic reservoir into the gearbox via the same hose. You know, that kind of explains why we had 40 liters more of that dark gunk inside the gearbox. The same stuff which is inside the hydraulic tank. And now something I did not tell you guys. Basically, when I took off yesterday before going to help the guy, I couldn't steer whatsoever. I kind of drove down there. I noticed that wheel does nothing, hydraulics do nothing, and then I remembered that lever was down. Yeah, that lever was down. I popped it back up. I didn't really think about it anymore. And then I went to check the hydraulic tank and it was bloody empty. I had to put like 50 or 60 liters into the thing in order to get the hydraulics back to work. But you know, the time that took me to get from here to there and eventually figure out the situation, why the hydraulics don't work. It was about maybe not much, 5 minutes perhaps. But dude, that pump, it can pump 160 liters per minute. It will empty this tank in a freaking minute. Even less that, because the tank is 100 liters. Yeah, like 40 seconds and the tank is empty. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. You know, the things just kept pumping hydraulic fluid into the gearbox until the gearbox oil level got so high that it started leaking out from the mis selle nimi oli nüüd, hooratas, flywheel bell housing. Yeah, although the thing sits slightly higher than the gearbox, but still not a lot. The oil level will gradually rise, and then eventually it's gonna start spilling over to this side. Basically, if you know, the little bump we had on the bottom of the gearbox, that pump will pump fluids into this section, but if it has nowhere to go back because there's too much oil in the gearbox, then it will just start filling up this box. And because there's no seal between this section and this section, there's just like a oil counter drained oil seal thing there. But if you submerge that in oil, then it's just gonna start overflowing and come out from there. So that's the current theory I have, which seems to make the most sense, honestly. Maybe it's not the pump, maybe it's just that. So we can actually confirm that once I fill the gearbox oil up again. Make sure I don't touch the, actually I'm gonna disconnect that stupid lever. And then I'm just gonna let it run on the spot. If nothing comes out, then I'm gonna go do a little drip. And if still nothing comes out, then that's the issue. Well, yeah, it's not really a problem. It's more like why the hell would someone connect this up to the gearbox? This is meant for attachments. It's not meant for the gearbox. So I'm gonna disconnect it from there so we can't have that issue. Maybe I just bump into the lever and it stays on and you don't even notice it. Rather just disconnect it. And then we can test out this theory. I think it's pretty solid, but can't guarantee it just yet. 25 liters, something like that. This should be on the mount which will go in the gearbox, no more. Now I'm gonna put this connection back to prevent dirt from falling into the gearbox, but I'm gonna disconnect the other part. I think this hole is actually meant for filling up the gearbox. I did look it up on the book, and there is a pretty okay diagram about the top of the gearbox. Basically, it's that thing over.
andis 6 kantvõtmeid.
see tundub, et
No see on jah too, aga kuidas see oli siin, eks? Teistpidi või? Mina ei tea.
on pikemad seal vist.
Mina ka ei tea.
Ei, no ma ei tea, see oli vist. Oota, keegi karjub siin juba enne.
Anyway, right over there, that thing. But it's not, but there's no number or anything on it, so I don't have a description of the thing. Plus, there is like no intake port described in this as well, although it says that it's somewhere on the far left, on the back end. But you know, it kind of makes perfect sense, this being the gearbox fill tube. Now, if you wanted to fill the gearbox oil, you would need to remove the floor mat, the floor panels, and even then you don't really have a lot of room down there. So it would make total sense if this was the fill tube. Now I'm just gonna put a little plug in the thing. I don't have that size cork at the moment. But let's do some testing. of a strange buzzing sound. Not sure if that was present before, I can't remember. Maybe it was. It's clearly the pump making sound. Engine oil okay, gearbox okay, but yeah, I would like to also get a reading from that and also that, because one of these is the bottom pump oil pressure, the gearbox lubrication oil pressure. Maybe the gauge even works, but I think the wire goes somewhere here. So far so good. I think I'm gonna wait a couple of more minutes, then if no leaks occur, then we're gonna go for a ride. Oh, I didn't check the hydraulics if they were. substantial building up right now. We do have a leak, but it's not what you are expecting. I think I need to put more tape there, but nothing from here, guys. Bone dry, almost. Actually, I don't see any leaks from coming the machine at the moment. Well, apart from the coolant leak, but oil-wise, nothing. Such a magical image. Kirovets on the field. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, that looks actually pretty cool. I'm gonna go try it back with a faster gear. Maybe something will happen to the coolant then.
Whoa.
pressure. So it is an issue with the cap. The cap should let go at about 1 bar, the spring. Maybe there's not enough room for the spring to operate there, not sure. Need to, but actually I may have a solution for that, but no, it hasn't arrived yet. About the leak situation though. Wait a minute, something's coming now. Something's coming now. Yeah, I'm gonna fire it up, let it run a bit more. Basically, I would say nothing, even the old blue leaks more. I think I'm not gonna dive into this situation any further at the moment. I'm just gonna keep an eye on it. I'm still thinking that maybe the bump seal is bad, because that would explain the current leak. But you know, there's really no way to confirm it, you know, other than taking the bumps off. But you know, I don't want to do that unless I'm 100% sure, because that is a lot of work. You know what, I'm gonna let it trip for a bit. Let's go try to figure out that stupid air leak. I think it's actually coming from here, clearly. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe some type of sensor. That's not doing anything. Ma ei saa aru, kas siia käib mingi lehtvõti või? Ma ei näe mitte midagi. Oota. Siin on nagu mingi võtmeava. Nii kiiresti. Maha. Dude, I can't undo that thing. Yeah. Holy hell. I guess something that tiny be so hard. I'm stuck. Gonna break something off the wall. You got a steel line which goes probably up to the roof, which we fixed last time with a rubber hose. I'm guessing that goes to the reader. So this goes to the reader, that goes to the roof. And I'm guessing this is some type of sensor. That doesn't work. And let's take the other things off first, then maybe we can extract the part at the workshop. Mis kõik on siin jumala kinni mädanenud? Jopen puhraisk. Midagi siit lahti ka tuleb. This is unreal. How can something be so stuck? Oh, that broke. Very good. Dude, even the Yanmar drag bolts were not this tight. You couldn't do this on the tractor, you clown! Why did I have to go through this nonsense right now? Take the entire thing off, because you didn't want to turn. Okay. Hopefully that solves another potential leak. By the way, guys, it's not leaking anymore. I think I have a pretty good idea what's going on actually. I think it's gravity's fault, you know. Because when I drive up the ramp, the front end sits a lot lower than the rear end. The tractor is heavily tilted forward. And you know, because there's oil in that bell housing, that oil gets pushed forward as well with gravity. You know, once that oil enters that tube, you know, the shaft, where the shaft is at, it will basically go through that tube because there's no seals there. Currently I'm placing my money on that. It seems very logical. And I think the pump is fine. The pumps are fine, I mean. So we'll leave this at that at the moment. Yeah, basically I want to wrap up this video now, but there's a couple of small things that I still want to do. I'm still waiting for that thing to arrive, which I want to install on the expansion tank. But you know, in the meantime, maybe I thought maybe it's a good idea. Actually, this is your idea, just to install like a air connector up to the air system on the tractor. So if I want to test for leaks, for air leaks, I don't need to fire up the engine. So this was your idea, guys. You kind of mentioned it during one of the videos. Siia ei saa midagi panna. No threads there. I figured maybe I could install it there, but guess not. Huh. Not as easy. Okay, well, I'm gonna make some type of a thing that will do the other thing. I'm out of breath. Yeah, look at that. Now I can get the air pressure up without needing to start the diesel engine. This was your idea, guys. You mentioned it. I did not even think about it. But it's a really good idea. Plus, you know, with that little adapter thing, technically I can like get air in the middle of the road somewhere if I need to pump something up. I'm gonna just zip tie a little hose on the tractor just in case. Neato. Yeah, that poor little compressor will probably explode before it managed to fill this system. But still, I think this is a good upgrade. Plus I can still purge the system if I want to let air out. I just need to just undo that and then it will drain out. And it should stop. Yeah, like that. I think I'm gonna do the same setup on the other side as well, then I can get rid of the stupid valve that doesn't work and is always jammed. Wait a minute. We got 6 bar in the system right now. This is gonna explode. Oh. This valve even works. Katsokaa, hieno kun saab midagi ühendada või? Holy balls! This is even better! Oh yeah, this is much better actually. The other valve was different, I couldn't connect that up there. But anyway guys, I think we got that situation under control. It hasn't leaked anything for a while. But it kind of stopped a little bit after pulling the machine up here. So I hope that's okay. I fixed a bunch of other leaks as well. Plus the 2 quick rescue missions. Both went surprisingly well, although one almost ended up being a disaster. But still, managed to pull it off. Even with catastrophic oil leaking all over the place, still managed to pull it off. You want to put that thing down. Ever since I did the 3-point hitch system, this thing doesn't want to sag down on its own anymore. I'm not sure, maybe something's binding. But yeah, the hydraulic fluid is nicely staying where it's supposed to be. Gearbox oil up to norm now. Engine oil doing okay. And just apart from the gearbox oil pressure issue, I think this tractor is pretty much service ready. Yeah, I think we can go. Do more bull attempts if anyone gets stuck nearby. I mean, that's always fun, right? But anyway guys, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up now. I think I have nothing left to add. Actually, I would like to go do something else. Been dealing with the gyrovets too much lately. Kind of getting old and boring. So wait a minute. There's one more thing. I was supposed to do something about the pressure build-up situation as well. So I ordered some pressure relief valves. I wasn't sure which one I would need, so I ordered a bunch of them. Now this is a pressure relief valve for air systems up to 12 bar. Obviously I can't install it there, but I figured maybe if I ever need, I can install it on the gyrovets' air system. But right now I'm not sure if this is like a one-time use or it will seal back up again once the pressure drops down below 12. So if it's like a one-time use thing, then that's not gonna work. And then I ordered up some adjustable release valves, which are reusable 100%. And this one can be adjusted between 0 and 5. I did a bit of quick googling, and the AI told me usually car radiators work at 1 bar of pressure. So just to be safe, I'm gonna set it to about 0.5 bar. At least I'm gonna try to achieve that, and I'm just gonna install it somewhere there. So if the pressure builds and the gap doesn't work, then the pressure can get out from that little regulator. And I just need to install it there somehow. Drill a hole and I guess weld something. Now the way this works is actually pretty simple. There's a little spring with a little ding inside there, and the more you screw it down, the tighter the spring is going to push the other ding down into that hole, and the more pressure is required to push it back up again. Now once the pressure is removed, the spring will push it down and it will seal it up, so the system won't be like well, it won't have atmospheric pressure at all times. That's about one. I think that's fine. Expertly calibrated. I think this would be the easiest setup. You just need to drill a hole through that and weld this part to the tank. Then I can install it, thread it in to the gap. Yeah, I think this is the least amount of work. Kurat, kas seda materjali üldse weldida saab või? Never mind. That will not work. You can't weld that. Yeah, I tried. Now, the color of the chips seemed a bit weird, so I figured probably can't weld that. Some type of different material. Basically, I have like two ideas. One will surely work, but it's a lot more work. The other one might work, but it's a lot less work. So I'm gonna try the easier option first. So I'm not really sure what the size of this drill bit needs to be in order for this option to work. I'm just gonna try something. Basically, what I'm planning to do is just kind of push the metal inwards and then thread it so I could just kind of screw the valve down. No welding required whatsoever. Maybe I'm just gonna make a mess. No, I think I need that steel to be red hot. So I need to push this thing down without really warping the thing too much. Dude, I think I went too big. Maybe it's perfect. Oh no. Just a shy too big. Damn it! Yeah. Kuule, kas see on õige mõõt ikka? On ju sama ju? Auk on juba õige, vaata, mul on lihtsalt vaja see on M12 hoopis. Voila! Ja. Look at that, guys. It still works. Insane. But you know, I think this little pressure relief will do the trick. If the cap won't work. Well, it doesn't work, yeah, clearly. Hopefully that will be a problem solver. Unless I have a head gasket failure. Then that's another matter. It's like I died and went to heaven. But then somehow I ended up in the sewage line and was dropped off exactly where I started. And actually, guys, I'm not wrong here. Now, if we open up the Holy Soviet Bible right at the correct spot, and if we look at the expansion tank, which is up there, take note of number 14, which is supposed to be that thing. Direct translation would be, I guess, steam pressure valve, but I'm guessing it's basically like a pressure relief valve known in the common tongue. Direct translation sometimes is foggy, but I'm thinking it's the same thing. So originally it's supposed to have one, number 14, right over there. I never installed one though. I figured maybe the cap will do the job. Guess not. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna end the movie now. I think it's pretty obvious what the next thing on the gyros will be. But I'm gonna take a little bath from that guy. I'm gonna work on something else now. I still have at least one more giant concrete project planned for this year. And I'm running out of time, so I'm gonna get back to work. Bye.